What's up? Welcome to Legion of Super Stuff. I'm Doug Millard. This is the place where we discuss all things superheroes, and this time we're going to talk about the 1989 classic, Batman. That's right, the cinematic masterpiece, the thing that changed everything. Let me take you back. This is just one long love fest to Batman, 1989. I'll take you back to the summer of 1989, the summer that my older brother and I call the greatest summer of cinema ever. We had Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters 2, Turner and Hooch, Star Trek 5, The Abyss, License to Kill, Weekend at Bernie's, Roadhouse, Do the Right Thing, Major League, and of course, Batman. I mean, this was the summer of all summers. I still think it holds up. There's never going to be any summer like this as far as cinematic blockbusters. It was so awesome. And just to give some context, in case you're a little bit younger and didn't grow up in the same time frame, let's look at the live-action superhero films leading up to Batman, which was the next step in the evolution in superhero cinema. Now let's skip through the serial era of like Batman and Superman, Captain Marvel, Captain America. They all had these serials in the 1940s. Let's skip ahead through that. There were some live action TV shows, like TV series like Hulk, Spider-Man, those kinds of things. But as far as the films, and I guess it's all included, we had Superman, Superman 2, Swamp Thing, which was so strange that had a franchise before Batman did. And I love Swamp Thing. Superman 3, Supergirl, Howard the Duck. Superman 4, The Return of Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing got 2 tries before Batman or Spider-Man. What? And Punisher, which was also out in 1989. Younger viewers have to know that we really had very little to get excited about as far as superheroes on the screen in any capacity. Yes, there were some cartoons here and there, but even then, they were spread out over the years, and unless you had them on VHS, you couldn't just turn on Disney Plus or Max or whatever to give them a watch. If you missed it, that was it. That was you missed your window. And I'm not trying to be like Grandpa from The Simpsons yelling at the clouds, but kids are spoiled these days as far as superhero films. Like we wanted all this so bad, what is the current MCU and DCU, but we didn't have that as kids. We had these like terrible versions. And I mean terrible by today's standards. If you were a kid back then, anybody in a suit on the screen in any capacity was incredible, and you couldn't get enough of it. But again, you couldn't just access that at any time. If you didn't tune in at a certain time, it was gone. You missed it. That was your chance. I remember looking forward to seeing the Thanksgiving Macy's parade, being so excited in case there was any float that featured superheroes, which a few times there were. There was a Batman float after the film came out that was so silly. It was like a guy impersonating Joker. It was really over the top and dumb. There was also like a Marvel float that had all these over the top, really silly action sequences. Terrible, terrible. But that is what we held on to. That's how bad it was. We were starved. We were in a superhero desert, you guys. But then we got 1989's Batman. That's right. It changed it all. I still get chills from watching the trailer. No superhero film moving forward will ever do what 1989's Batman did for me and a lot of kids growing up in that era. It will never be the same. My brother and I would read the backs of Wizard magazine in hopes of seeing any glimpse of any superhero film at the time being made. Like anything in production, anytime the rights were turned over to some studio, we were so excited. We were like, oh my God, there's rumors of a Captain America movie or Fantastic Four movie, all that stuff. We would get so excited. And so when Batman came out, it was the real deal. It actually happened. For so many years, we just read up on these rumors. Like you didn't have the internet to Google it. You would just sit there waiting for that next big thing after the Superman films. And that's what we got in Batman. Pretty much any attempt at a superhero film to that date was garbage in comparison, other than the Superman franchise. They did a pretty great job. It gave us our first big hope. But Tim Burton finally delivered on a real superhero film. The guy that brought us Pee-wee's Big Adventure had done it. And he paved the way for the X-Men and Spider-Man movies and so on and so forth. He showed everyone it can be done. My older brother and I would sit around and wait for this one show to come on the movie channel, which eventually would become E! Entertainment. There was a show that would just show trailers. And we would sit around and record trailers, specifically waiting for the Batman trailer. And then once we got that Batman trailer recorded on VHS, we would just loop it. Hit rewind, play again. Hit rewind, play again. And so on and so forth. And we would exhaust that trailer. That first trailer that came out that, again, still gives me goosebumps to this day to watch. It was so awesome. I do wish I could still get the exact same feeling I got the first time I watched it as a kid. But I get kind of the same feeling when I watch it now. Now, I'm not sure how many times our mom had to take us to watch the film in theaters, but it was a lot. We would just beg her over and over again. And, luckily it's a good film for adults to watch, and I stand by it. It still holds up. It's still great. It's still a cinematic masterpiece. But I had that movie memorized at age 10, which is insane. I had every line memorized, every part. Everything revolved around that movie in that point in time, and I would do anything to get my hands on the merch. He-Man and G.I. Joe were one thing, but this was different. It wasn't just about the action figures. This was Batmania. I wanted it all. Like, it was crazy. The merchandise, I mean, holy goodness. I had Joker shoes. Like, seriously, I had Converse high tops that had Joker on them. I had a Joker skateboard. I had an official Joker hat, as seen, that Jack Nicholson wore in the film, that I bought at Suncoast, if you remember Suncoast from the mall. I had several shirts, the official Batman movie magazine, the official comic adaptation and book adaptation, the action figures, of course. I had a Joker laugh box that came in this bag. It was just like in the film when Joker dies and he's got the laugh continuing out of this little sound machine. I had the not official, it was maybe unofficial, but it was a Joker laugh box that laughed, and it came in a little bag. Got it at Spencer's Gifts, which we all remember. I had the Batman cereal. I had hats, collectible cards, Pez dispensers, the Taco Bell collectible cups, buttons, the Mad magazine with Batman on the cover, a Joker credit card, the Batman video game from Sunsoft, which I still think is one of the greatest video games of all time. And I'm very old school, obviously. Multiple posters. I had the one with Jack Nicholson as Joker on the beach. Classic. Many more. I also dressed as Joker for Halloween. That following Halloween. That was with the official hat, of course. Big moment for me. I also was lucky enough to witness in person. I got to see one of the Batmobiles used in the film at the Collin Creek Mall in Plano, Texas. That was crazy. They brought an actual Batmobile from the film to our local mall, and as a kid, in the hype of Batmania, I got to see this. It was incredible. That was unheard of. I was in Plano, Texas. This is a suburb of Dallas. Not even Dallas. We were in Plano. That stuff is just crazy to think about, that it came to our town. Batman's influence hung over me for at least a few years. I wasn't as happy with Batman Returns, but I still loved it. There will never be another movie, though, like Batman 1989, end of story. And with the MCU in a bit of a downturn, although Deadpool and Wolverine kind of bringing it back, and the DCU starting over, maybe we need Tim Burton to take another stab at the superhero genre. Just joking. Hopefully, Deadpool and Wolverine right out of the MCU, and I trust James Gunn to give us a great product. But again, there will never be another Batman 1989. That was just something out of the blue that gave me a dopamine rush at a young age that I will never get again. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I can. I'm going to go watch it right now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Tell me some story you had watching Batman from 1989 as a kid. I love it. See you soon.